like me. Ain't cut like these bitches, count up a check in a white tee. Bitch, I'm roll running, I don't give a fuck who beside me. Still the coldest bitch, it don't even matter who bite.
Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. So into this video I'll be doing a protective style for my locks. I'll be doing box braids over my locks, and as you guys can tell, this is my first time, so it was kind of a challenge and fun and tricky at the same time. So yeah, if you guys are interested, stay tuned and I'll show you guys how I went about the process. But this is a 3-in-1 body pack, pre-stretched hair in the color TT1B/27. It's pre-stretched, pre-pulled, pre-extended, and pre-feathered. It's already stretched. I don't have to do no stretching, and that's the good thing about it. And it's 50 inches. Okay, so what you have to do first is go in and start parting your boxes of your locks in straight, but I can't see the back of my head, so normally what I do is I use my fingers to feel around to feel the judgment of my part. And then after, when you get the part straight of the box, you're going to want to take some product and add that to the lock itself and give yourself a fresh retwist. But be very careful when you're parting with a comb, because you don't want to bust another hair from another lock. So you have to be very tedious when you're doing when you're parting. So what you're gonna want to do is take your braiding hair. You'll have to use the T method, whatever method you want to use. You're gonna split that into half and then wrap that around one another, making like a loop, making it a loop, and then it's gonna be like, it's gonna look like this after you make a loop. So after you make the loop, you're gonna want to add it to your lock or your braiding hair, your loose natural hair or your relaxed hair, and you're gonna want to start braiding using your lock as a third strand so that you can braid the braids onto your lock. I hope I'm making sense. This is my first time doing box braids over locks. I particularly do them on my loose natural hair when I used to have loose natural hair, but now that I have locks, it's kind of trickier. It's kind of a challenge, but it's still fun at the same time. So yeah, I hope you guys can see and hope I can make sense out of what I'm saying. So if you guys can understand, just try to see and understand what I'm doing in the video. So when you're braiding down the hair, now when you add the braid onto your lock, when you're braiding it down, you want to try and tuck the lock underneath one of the braid, so that way the lock doesn't be shown. But as you guys can tell, this is my first time doing box braids over locks, and I can't really tuck the braids underneath because I really can't see as I hoped, and I thought that I could have seen good, or I thought that I could have did it good. But like I said, this is my first time for everything, so I use my feelings and my judgment based on that. So this is how the first braid came out. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the other braid, and I'm gonna tell you guys how to do that again. Alright, so you're gonna want to use your lock as a third strand. Like I said before, you're gonna want to add it to your braid, and then you're gonna want to start braiding your hair down using the lock as a third strand while trying your best to tuck the lock into the braid. Okay, so when you're tucking the lock in the braid, you're gonna want to make sure that the braid is bigger than the lock itself, because if it's not, you know, the lock is gonna show in the braid. Alright, so for this step particularly, it requires a lot of tedious attention, like I stated before. Main reason because when you're parting your boxes or your triangle boxes, whatever boxes you guys have for your locks, you're gonna want to try not to pull on any other hair from another lock, because it can, probably hurts and it can damage the other lock because it's already entwined with that lock. So that's why it's very tedious to pay attention. Okay, so one thing I want to say about the back of my halfway head that I'm halfway through this style, as you guys can tell that the locks is not tucked good under the box braids, mainly because I can't see what I'm doing, and this is my first time trying to tuck locks in the braid. I never did this style before. I never did it on anyone. I've been seeing a lot of videos about how to do it, and some people that did it on themselves, it turned out the same way, but others that did it on other people, it turned out pretty good. But if you're a professional, or if you're really trying your best to tuck it, if you're doing it yourself, it's a lot of time. Okay, it's just a lot of time. So as you guys can tell, in the back of my head, it's not straight as usual, but when I get to the front of my head, I did not go in with a comb like I normally do, because I just didn't have the time. I was tired, my fingers was hurting trying to tuck these locks in these braids, and meanwhile in between I was taking breaks because I was tired, I was eating, I was drinking. So yeah, as you guys can tell, the locks isn't tucked, and you guys can see the lock in the braid, but who cares? I personally don't. Some people might do, but I personally don't, because this is my first time. It was a challenge, it was fun, and it was very tricky. But like I said, this is a protective style, and I'm currently 8-month lock, and I'm trying something different to see how my lock would take the braids. And I just got tired of retwisting my lock itself, so I went in and did a protective style over my locks. So I hope you guys is enjoying this video so far, and I hope I'm making sense throughout this whole video. And like I said, don't judge me. This is my first time doing box braids over my locks. I hope you guys enjoy this video and try this style over your locks as well. So like I stated before, this style requires a lot of time. So what I went in and did was I took a row that I was on and I just retwisted each locks. That way I can just add the braid to the lock and just keep braiding and just keep going. That way I don't have to stop and retwist each lock. So I went in and twist a row that I was on each lock, and then I went in and just add the braids on each lock, so that way I can save time, quote unquote, try and save time. But it still take up time because of the process of me trying to tuck the lock. But this kind of made the process speed up more because I already had the lock retwisted. So that's something I just want to input there. And I personally might not do this style again because of the time it took. Well, it didn't take that long, but I would say it take about like 6 to 7 hours, maybe 8. I wasn't counting, but I can't remember when I started, so I would say typically that long when I do my own box braids. And plus it was a lot of work trying to tuck the locks in the braid, because I did them individually. It's not like I take 2 locks and put a rubber band on top of them and I just braid them. No, I did all my braids individually, and I have about like 72 locks in my head. And when I finished the braid, it wasn't heavy, no, but it just was a lot of time consuming trying to tuck the lock in the braid and braiding each lock individually. So it basically took a while, more than how much braids I normally put. But since I have 72 locks, there's 72 braids, and it really took a lot of time. So you'll have to make sure that the braid is bigger than the lock itself when you're tucking it, so that way you know, the locks can be tucked and it can be hidden away and it's looking good. But this is how it turned out so far, and I hope I made sense throughout this whole video. So these are the ending results. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys like this style, and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to turn on your post notification bell. See you guys, so miss upload when I upload another video. So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.